Hey YouTube, what's going on? Nick here, and I have a floor speaker video for you today. This is by request by Parker Glenn at Parker Glenn 4484. Check out his channel, awesome stuff. This is going to be on my Jensen OPC 24 and OPC 25 house speakers. Now I actually have these speakers hooked up to my whole house system, and I do use these speakers any single time I play music throughout the whole house. This is the back half of my basement. We're going to focus on these speakers right here. Growing up, my parents had a pair of the OPC 23-inch speakers, or 23 speakers, which were the 10-inch version of these. I have a brochure which I will show you guys, but it's on the computer. I don't actually have a hard copy, but it explains all the speakers and goes into details and such about them. I really like these speakers. I was fascinated by them as a kid. They had two-tone grills, and then they had a bronze plastic cover that went over here to cover the frequency controls. They each had a color foam around them before to indicate which dial you turn, but unfortunately the blue foam deteriorated, as did the yellow foam for the mid-ranges, as did the red foam around the tweeters. There's only one that seemed to kind of stick around and is somewhat decent still, and that's this one from the mid-range, although it's not yellow anymore. The speakers are in perfect condition. There's not one dent or anything poked in, and all the drivers are original. I got these both at a thrift store of all places. Maybe it was a pawn shop. One of those two. But anyways, they had both pairs. And I just originally bought these ones at first, and then I thought about it. And the guy told me if I bought the other pair, he would give me a good deal on them. And he did. So I think I got these speakers for roughly $200 for both pairs, which isn't bad. Plus I had to replace the foam on them. Let's get a closer look on these speakers. These ones have a 1.5-inch Mylar Dome Sonodome tweeter. These are a very efficient tweeter, and in fact, Acoustic Research, I believe, uses these exact same tweeters, which is made by Jensen's, in their speakers. And a different brand speaker uses these same tweeters, but as a mid-range, and as a mid-range they blow out a lot from what I read. But very good sound reproduction. I did not put foam back around them, as I haven't found any that I liked how it looked. I did buy red felt, but I just didn't like how it looked, so I took it back off. The mid-ranges, I was unable to find the specific size, so I had to buy a 4-inch and cut the foam and then kind of like piece it together right there. But it came out pretty good. And the woofer is very easy. The shop around town here actually had the 12-inch foam I could buy for the speakers. And then you have your audio frequency controls right here. This one's for the mid-range. And then you have your treble over here as well too. Oops. Very cool. Let's take a look at the OPC 25. What OPC stands for is Optimum Performance Control or Concept. I'll have to look that one back up, but it's one of those two. This speaker's identical with the tweeter. It has the same 1.5-inch fried egg tweeter is what they call this one. It has dual 3-inch sealed chamber mid-ranges. The dual controls for your mid-range and treble. And this one has a big 15-inch woofer, which is slightly off to the side. It's mounted more to the right than it is to the left. These speakers aren't as closely matched in serial number as are my 24s. These ones are 572 and 447, and the 24s are 188 and 193. So these were probably made in the exact same day. These are a USA made speaker. This was when Jensen was part of Pemcor Laboratories. Jensen sold out a few times, and this is when they were in Pemcor. I personally think these are excellent sounding speakers. Great bass, great mid-range, and great treble. They are sealed. I prefer acoustically sealed speakers. I just like the bass response that they give better. We're going to test them out here in a second, but let's go upstairs and check out the brochures so we can get a better idea of what these speakers were back then. This is the brochure that came with it. I'm not going to go over and read everything, but just kind of give you a visual. They really pushed these speakers. My mom said when she went to the store to buy them, she could remember the salesman talking her up a pair. She was going to get the 22s, which you will see on here in a second. And here are all the speakers. There's the two-tone grill that I was telling about. That is just so cool. And then the bronze plate. I do have grills, but mine have a single tone grill. But I keep the grills off my speakers. They have 5 different variants of these speakers. A very nice looking speaker. Let's see, it should say what OPC stands for on here. Here's a picture of the woofer with the blue surround. Very cool. I wish you could still get blue foam. Of course you can't. Here's the mid-range speakers with the yellow. Again, very cool. You don't see that too much on speakers anymore. And here is the Sonodome tweeter, which gives you 170-degree angle room filling highs. And there's the red foam around it. Yes, OPC stands for Optimum Performance Controls. That's them right there. Very cool speaker. And they actually did kind of make this same speaker, but they switched it to the Spectrum brand later on. Same speaker, and I do have a pair of those, but the 10-inch version. This is the first pair that you got. It's the Model 21. That has an 8-inch woofer and a 2-inch cone speaker for the tweeter. There's the Model 22, which was the one my mom was originally going to buy when she was in her 20s. This one moves up to a 10-inch woofer and the same 2-inch cone tweeter. A little bit more watts at 45. This is the one they had when I was growing up. This is what hooked me on speakers, is this pair of speakers right here. So when I saw the OPCs, I literally had to buy them. I didn't even think twice. This one has a 10-inch woofer, and now it comes with a 1.5-inch Sonodome tweeter. So a little bit better highs and a little bit more power. As you can tell, the woofer has a bigger dust cap, so I'm assuming this one has the same size voice coil as the 12 and 15-inch woofers. Here's the Model 24, which is one that I have in the basement, shown with the two-tone grill. Step up to a 12-inch woofer, the same Sonodome tweeter, and 3-inch mid-range. I don't know why it said dual cone. It's not a dual cone. That's gotta be a typo. But anyways, look at that. That's a really cool looking speaker for back in the day. I definitely would have the covers off, especially the blue ring around the woofer is awesome. These speakers are 75 watts maximum power, frequency range of 25 to 25,000 hertz. And here's the Model 25. These ones have the stand, which mine also have two built in. And it moves up to the 15-inch woofer and 2 mid-ranges, same tweeter. That's a 90-watt speaker. Very cool looking speaker. I do have one more I want to show you, one more This just gives a little bit better insight. Sorry I'm not pausing on it. If you want to, just pause the video to read what it says, but this is just more information on the speakers. Very cool looking speaker. Yes, the tweeter does have a big Alnico magnet on it, as you can see right back there. Pretty big for a little tweeter. And this is what will be controlling the music this time. It is not the little amplifier, as it'll be these big amps right here, because this is what controls all the floor speakers in my house. Please excuse the computer cover, it fell off. I have to still take it apart and put it back on. Let's test the speakers though. Alright, let me run back there and start the music. I'll be right back. Love the sound these speakers produce. Some of the best sounding floor speakers I have ever personally heard. give it a little bit of volume.